Yo, welcome back to another NIKKE review. Today, we get our new goth mommy, girlfriend, girl failure, gooner label. Now, this one is going to be fairly short, so I'll go over her skills, then her buffing performance, and then briefly my final thoughts on the end. So don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more. Now let's take a look at the skills. Alright, first skill, meeting and parting. Gains delusion status at the start of battle, which makes her gain a shield equal to 30% of her HP. Then after delusion ends, she gains delusion shattered status, which prevents her from being targeted by a single target attack for up to 2 seconds and gets stunned for up to 2 seconds. Then after doing a normal attack or using burst skill while not in delusion state, she gains a shield that's 30% of her HP for each of those conditions. Onto skill 2, Sweetness of Love. At the start of battle, she decreases the damage taken by her team from electric cold enemies for 5 seconds and then deactivates. While in delusion status, she gains a burst gauge filling speed of 70%, her attack increases by 93%, and damage taken from electric enemies is decreased by 70%. While in shared delusion, however, the team gains 80% of Label's attack as attack buff. And lastly, the burst skill, Bursting Heart. She gains 20% of max HP and enters shared delusion, which makes her shield invulnerable for 10 seconds. So right off the bat, this is a pretty odd kit, and immediately it is apparent that this is a PvP kit, not a PvE or boss kit. The decreased damage from electric enemies is only active for the first 5 seconds of the battle, which is going to be mainly focused on countering Scarlet or Cindy during PvP. But still, I test all units and their performance against PvE and mostly bosses, so let's take a look at that. So now we get the spreadsheet section. So like I said, this is a very quick comparison. I picked one team and then switched the B1 units to compare the B3 damage against Label's buffs and other B1 buffers. The team that I was using is Aid, Bunny Milk, Treasure Laplace, and Helm. So first we got Label. In this team, Milk did 1,178,000,000 damage, while Laplace did 1,060,000,000 damage, and this is the control team, so it is 100%, and the Label herself did 216,000,000 damage, so nothing special. Now the second team was with Leader, and Milk did 1,397,000,000 damage, while Laplace did 1,469,000,000 damage, and in this team they did 28% more damage than with Label. And the Leader outdamages Label as well. With Little Mermaid, Milk did 50 million more than with Leader, but Laplace dropped 200 mil, the B3 damage being 21% higher than with Label team. Then we got Rouge, Milk did 80 million more and Laplace did over 200 million more than with Label, coming in at 113% of control. And lastly, the Color Wife also produced higher damage output from both B3s, coming in at 115% of control. So the bottom line is that Label really sucks in PvE. Label performs significantly worse than all of the commonly used B1s, and so she is going to be mostly a PvP unit. As for the investment, I would recommend going for 444, and really only if you plan on using her in PvP, and I do not recommend overloading her gear either. With that said, let's go over to my final thoughts. So overall, like I mentioned, Label is not that great in PvE content. The only buff that she is able to give her team is a significant but conditional attack buff, which is just not enough when compared to other B1 buffers. Her ability to decrease the damage taken from electric enemies by 70%, and the fact that the buff is only active for the first 5 seconds of battle, means that she will only be useful as a counter for Scarlet or Cinderella in PvP. But for most people, Label is just not a good pickup, and personally I'm placing her in a C tier, and there just isn't much more that can be said about this unit. So with that said, good luck on your polls if you are trying to pick her up, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.